So many of you would be familiar with the fight or flight response. Things are not looking so good for this poor little antelope. He's about to be caught, or she is about to be caught by the lion. And we're catching this scene a few minutes in, because a few seconds before this, that antelope was having a drink by the watering hole and just chilling out with his or her friends, and everything was fine. Except somewhere, suddenly, its nervous system detected the threat. This lion was sort of lurking in the bush. And before this antelope had the opportunity to understand what was going on, his or her body was already running away. And we all know this is what happens when a threat emerges in our environment. There's a whole series, a cascade of biological events that makes us especially prepared to deal with the threat, to run away or to freeze or to fight. And you can see these things: the heart rate goes up, the respiration rate goes up, pupils dilate, blood pressure goes up, muscle tension goes up. All of these things, it's super automatic, super overriding mechanism, and it's all designed to get us to safety as quickly as possible before we even know that we're doing it. This is a picture of that antelope brain. On the bottom, the top is a human brain. And I hope what you'll notice is that there's actually a lot of similarities between the two. The biggest difference being, of course, the cortex, the big green layer on top. What that means is the amygdala, the stress response, the fear response, it's exactly the same architecture. It's exactly the same machine in both the antelope and the human, but the humans have this extra layer on top of it. So what does that mean? We don't need to be exposed to something like this to enter into a stress response. All we need is something like this. Okay? We can contemplate the future. We can imagine threats. We could remember something terrible that happened yesterday. And we're engaging all of this circuitry. Okay? We're feeding our nervous systems the possibility of threat all the time. And so this is a costly thing. These habits that we have are very costly, but it doesn't have to be that way. Again, there are skills and habits we can learn. That's what this practice is all about. That sort of diminishes the proclivity to engage the stress response, or the overwhelm feeling, or the depressed feeling, or the super anxious feeling. Whatever state your nervous system gravitates to, that your mind keeps feeding to you, there's better habits to cultivate. And I'm assuming that the mindfulness stuff that you've done so far today all sort of speaks to the same theme. Okay. What do I have here? Yeah. The antelope, we're now looking at zebras. I don't know why I switched animals, but we're now at zebras. If the zebra manages to survive the lion chase, it just goes right back to drinking water with his or her buddies, right? But not us, right? It stays with us, right? We ruminate, we carry with us, we dream about it, all these things, again, because that top cortical layer of our brains. So we're just, this chronic activation of our nervous systems in this way. The opportunity, again, is to cultivate the skill, this practice of mindfulness. And I've just offered a couple definitions. The most common one is the bottom one. You've probably heard it. It's a kind of awareness that's developed by paying attention in a particular way, in the present moment and non-judgmentally. So it's orienting ourselves into the present moment. It's being open and flexible with whatever is showing up. I really like Ron Siegel's definition as well. Awareness of present moment experience with acceptance. So simple and yet so hard.